the limit applies to the address. That's the way the code works today, and that has not been
But
changed.
that's the problem when somebody's got business like her, businesses and homes that are illegal and unauthorized. And I don't know that I really like the idea of the city making a new, more restrictive law and then turning a blind eye to it. If you're going to make a law, make it a law that's a reasonable law. And it's not necessarily a reasonable amount in this law for the community here, is what I'm understanding. So to say that don't worry about anything because we just won't look if you have more garbage. Yet on the other hand, there's a waiver process because there's a waiver about if you got more garbage because there can be a fine, and it's a criminal misdemeanor fine. So we've got a criminal situation on top of all this. So if you don't have the right garbage amount, you're very likely to have some misdemeanor on your record. Now, there's even more garbage.
Yes, there is a misdemeanor issue in this article.
I think that has to be knocked off right away.
Okay, let me respond, please. There is a misdemeanor statement in that section of the code, and they are also in other sections of the code. They are throughout the code, because when the code was written years ago, and parts of the code were updated, there was no other way other than a misdemeanor fine process to hold people accountable to the law. What has happened since that time is we've instituted the Environmental Control Board and the ability to issue a prepayable fine and the option to go before the Environmental Control Board if you take issue with that citing. And there are also civil citations that the police may issue. None of these carry any criminal intent. And those civil penalties and fines and citings are what we use to enforce these laws. I've been with the city almost 30 years. I've never seen us pursue these misdemeanor issues except for people who are doing some pretty egregious things. We are not looking to give everybody in this room a criminal record because they didn't put the lid on their can. That's not the point. We have the civil citation process, and Mr. Booker can tell you it is his folks that issue those citations, and they are civil in nature. They are not going to give you a criminal record in that regard.